Rice Haygood here of Plant-Based Beasts. Hope you beasts are doing well. Alright, today we're going to talk about meal supplements, aka protein powders. Really the same thing if you think about it. A meal supplement just has a few extra calories in there, well, a lot of extra calories to kind of make up for a whole meal lost in a day with some added vitamins and such. And a protein powder, I mean, with the amount of protein you're getting a ton of calories just from protein alone. We're going to talk about two of my favorite brands. I would say are the two best brands out there for vegans and vegetarians and really anyone who wants to follow a plant-based lifestyle. The reason they're the best is because, well, when you're looking for good protein powder, you know, a long time ago, right before I was even in a plant-based lifestyle, I really just wanted to get the most expensive, the most popular protein. I had no idea what I was consuming. Turns out I was just basically consuming powdered milk. It was costing me $60 for like a 3-gallon tub. I didn't know what I was doing. But then I did more research into, you know, healthier lifestyles because, you know, as much as I want to gain muscle mass, at the same time I want to stay as healthy as possible. There's no point in being big and strong when you're dying on the inside. What I ended up running into was a few issues that people don't really talk about when it comes to meal supplements or protein. Well, bloating, that's a factor. Depending on the type of person you are, what intolerances you might have, certain types of protein might make you bloat more than others. For me, pea protein kind of makes me bloat, but not nearly as much as whey protein. Believe it or not, whey protein just destroys my stomach. The problem I ran into was bloating. The fact that men should not be taking iron supplements. They should basically get all their iron from their diet. And women, the iron thing doesn't really matter to them. Women who have a period, they have to supplement iron anyway. So taking the iron supplement is actually suggested for most women. And the last thing I became more concerned with was the fact that where you're getting your protein matters a lot. You know, if it's a plant-based protein or an animal-based protein, you know, what the process is, how processed the protein is. When I started to look into that, of course, I leaned more towards plant-based proteins because I didn't really see a point of drinking that all day when I'm trying to avoid an animal product, you know, as much as possible. I want plant-based protein. So in the field, let's just say it's slim picking. You could definitely have more options out there for vegans and vegetarians. What they do have out there is either really cheap or really expensive. But there's a huge difference most of the time. On the cheaper side, you have something like raw meal. And raw meal is phenomenal, really. Raw meal it's packed full of just good product. Nothing's cheaped on. Everything is about as natural as you're gonna get. It's packed full of nutrients as well, but that's also the problem with it. Because it has so many nutrients, specifically iron, I can't really suggest that most people take this. Because when you really boil it down, you have 50% of your iron in one serving. And as a man, if you have a normal diet, even as a vegan, you're going to get your minimum iron. So tacking on an iron supplement is just going to be overkill. And here's the reason why I say that. There's this thing called hereditary hemochromatosis, and it affects Caucasian men, which is the predominant race in America. I think it affects about 5 out of 1,000 Caucasian men. And what it does is it attaches iron to your vital organs at such a rapid pace, it becomes toxic to your body. So taking anything more than you need to is potentially dangerous. And it's funny because you see all these ads that specifically advertise to men that are iron supplements. They'll say, you know, it'll be like a fiber and iron and, you know, some other frequently discussed nutrients that, you know, people really try to hammer down that you should have. But iron and fiber are the number two for men, I'd say. And the problem is these companies, they don't care about your health. They just want to get to the bottom line. So, you know, it's really important for men to avoid iron supplements. Just unless your doctor suggests you to have them, don't get them. All right, and the last thing I think is the most important that men and women should have is B12, but you're gonna find that in just about every meal replacement supplement out there for vegans because it's a really hot item for vegans. A lot of vegans have a hard time getting it in their natural diet. So, supplementing is suggested most of the time. I take it every now and then. I don't get the shot or anything, but I just keep it simple, and I supplement it whenever I need to. But the biggest difference you need to know between these two proteins is that the raw is going to cost you a lot less. Like I said, I wouldn't suggest it because it has a lot of iron and it's not really good for men. And then there's the Vega, which is the purest you can get in the vegan world, but at the same time, it has just enough, but not too much, of vitamins. A thing a lot of people don't understand is that you don't necessarily need 100% of your daily value of every vitamin, because first of all, your body's not going to process all of that. Whatever it does need is just going to shoot out of your piss. Fat soluble vitamins, it's a little bit harder, but water soluble, they're going to go right out. And what that does is that, first of all, it dehydrates you because you're using extra urine to get rid of all these vitamins. And also, unless you're in some sort of situation that requires you to go on for days, if not weeks, of malnutrition, you're not going to need 100% of your daily vitamins. You just don't. Unless you're about to go on Survivor, you don't need it. I actually used the raw when I first started out bodybuilding as a vegan, and I switched to Vega after a while because I knew it was better for me. I was in Afghanistan at the time when I switched, and it saved me really, because in Afghanistan at the time, all I had was broccoli, mashed potatoes, and rice. Beans on occasion if I can make sure they didn't have butter in them, but it was slim picking in Afghanistan. So the Vega is a lifesaver for me. That's really about it, guys. I hope you learned something. Both of these products are amazing. There's a few other great products out there. Please tell me what you take yourself. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you soon.